Today we're plunging into a universe that has quite literally shaped generations. I mean, it's a global phenomenon, so much more than just a beloved cartoon. We are, of course, talking about Dragon Ball. From its surprisingly humble beginnings, it just exploded into this vast, intricate universe, incredible power systems, a storytelling approach that's, constantly evolving.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we've gone through a stack of research, articles, and notes. Our mission, really, is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge. We want to give you a clearer understanding of Dragon Ball's foundational influences, its incredible cosmic architecture, the fascinating evolution of its power dynamics, and even the often debated rules of what's actually considered canonical.
Yeah, the canon thing is always a hot topic.
Oh, definitely. Prepare for some genuine aha moments, because what many of us grew up watching or reading, it's far deeper and often more thoughtfully constructed, even with its famous improvisational elements, than you might ever have realized.
Absolutely. This isn't just about, super strong fighters punching each other, though there's plenty of that. It's about the very fabric of a meticulously built, albeit kind of fluid, fictional world.
Uh-huh.
So where do we even begin to untangle such a rich tapestry?
Well, many people, when they think Dragon Ball today, they probably picture alien warriors, cosmic battles, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, that's the image now for sure.
But the true roots are much more grounded and I think much more surprising.
That's what's so fascinating. You'd assume it started with some grand alien epic, but that wasn't the case at all, was it?
Not even close. The initial spark didn't come from some cosmic vision. It actually came from the silver screen. And a pretty clever editor, Akira Toriyama, the legendary creator, had an editor named Kazuhiko Torishima. Now, Torishima knew Toriyama loved kung fu films, especially those starring action legends like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay. I can see that connection.
Right. So Torishima actually encouraged him to channel that passion into a new manga.
So we're talking high-energy martial arts and that slapstick comedy right from the get-go.
Exactly. That influence directly infused early Dragon Ball with its kinetic martial arts choreography and, comedic timing. It's especially clear in those frequent Tenkeichi Budokai, the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Right.
Toriyama even designed young Goku as a plain character, notably without highlights in his eyes, which was apparently a deliberate subversion of the typical kind of angsty shonen heroes of the time. He wanted something different.
Wow, so even that seemingly simple detail of Goku's eyes was a deliberate choice, subverting expectations from day one. It really shows just how much thought was going into these characters, even back then. But okay, beyond kung fu films, there's an even older, more epic literary influence, isn't there? Something foundational.
Yes, and here's where it gets truly foundational, like you said. While Kung Fu cinema gave it that kinetic energy, the narrative backbone, especially for early Dragon Ball, came directly from the 16th century Chinese epic Journey to the West.
Yeah.
Toriyama used it as this brilliant, loose blueprint. Think about it. The original novel's core quest is a monk's pilgrimage for sacred Buddha sutras. Dragon Ball transforms that into a hunt for 7 mystical Dragon Balls that grant wishes. The parallels are absolutely uncanny once you see them.
I remember seeing those connections later in life and just being blown away by how explicit they are. It's not subtle.
It really isn't. Our protagonist, Son Goku, is a direct reimagining of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. They share the Japanese name, the supernatural strength, that iconic size-altering staff, the Nyoibu or power pole.
The power pole, yeah.
And even a magical flying cloud, the Kintone or flying nimbus. But what about the role of the monk, Tang Senzang, the one driving the quest in the original story?
That's Bulma, right, which is just a brilliant, completely unexpected gender flip for the character. Genius, really.
Precisely. Toriyama's modern comedic twist transformed this, pious male monk into a brilliant, assertive, and yes, often boy-crazy teenage girl, and the parallels keep going. Oolong, the lecherous, shape-shifting pig, a clear nod to Zubaji. Yamcha, the desert bandit, mirrors Sha Wujing. Even minor characters like the Ox King and the setting of Fire Mountain draw from the Bull Demon King, it's this incredible web of influence.
It's astounding how much of Dragon Ball's DNA comes straight from this ancient epic. It's baked right in. But then Toriyama is also famously known for his improvisational writing style, working by the seat of his pants, as I say. How did that impact the story's direction, moving away from that initial template?
Well, that improvisational style led to some massive, completely unplanned plot twists. The most prominent example, and probably a huge aha moment for many fans, is Goku's origin story.
Oh, yeah?
He was not originally conceived as an alien, that whole idea.
No way.
Seriously, the revelation that Goku was a member of the Saiyan race was a retcon. Pure and simple. It was introduced much later, basically to drastically escalate the stakes and keep the story fresh and exciting, probably for Toriyama himself as much as the readers.
Wow. So the core identity of the main character was a later addition. That's wild. So as the stakes just kept escalating, how did Toriyama manage to continually redefine power and threat levels, moving it beyond those initial earthbound adventures rooted in mythology?
Well, that relentless need for constant escalation, it's kind of a hallmark of the shonen battle genre, isn't it?
Definitely.
It forced what you might call a mythological shedding. The earthbound threats, they just reached a power ceiling relatively quickly. This compelled Toriyama to move the story beyond Earth, then beyond the galaxy, shifting the narrative from that mystical adventure based on Journey to the West to this expansive cosmic saga. It wasn't really an abandonment of its roots, more like a pragmatic evolutionary choice to sustain that core loop, the relentless pursuit of greater strength and ever larger threats.
That makes sense. Survival of the fittest storytelling almost.
Yeah.
And speaking of expanding worlds, it's fascinating how even Earth itself, the starting point, is woven into this cosmic tapestry. What's unique about Dragon Ball's Earth?
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you can really see how that initial world building just exploded far beyond those early influences. Let's maybe try and chart the cosmos that emerged. First, you've got Earth, which interestingly is uniquely designated Planet 4Z32877 by the Celestial Hierarchy.
Huh. Okay. Very specific.
Isn't it? It's depicted with a single supercontinent, dotted with major urban centers like West City, home of the ubiquitous Capsule Corporation, of course.
Capsule Core, yeah.
Everywhere. And crucial sacred sites like Korin Tower and Papaya Island, which is the perennial venue for the World Martial Arts Tournament.
And its political structure is memorable.
It is. What's truly charming here, and it really underlines that unique blend of fantasy and sci-fi, is its political structure. It's a unified global monarchy ruled by an anthropomorphic dog named simply as the King of the World.
You gotta love it. A dog king.
It's a wonderfully whimsical detail amidst all the cosmic grandeur.
Okay, so zooming out from Earth, we enter the macrocosm of Universe 7. Can you paint a picture of how vast and layered this part of the cosmos is?
Absolutely. Universe 7 is depicted as this massive, self-contained sphere. It's divided into two primary halves. The lower half is the mortal realm that contains infinite space with countless galaxies, and importantly, its reverse side holds the chaotic demon realm.
The demon realm, right?
The upper half is the other world, the afterlife for all deceased souls. This is overseen by King Yema as the judge.
King Yema deciding who goes where.
Exactly, with distinct areas like heaven and hell and the Kaish realm where King Kai lives, and orbiting entirely outside of this whole sphere is the sacred world of the Kai, the home base for the Supreme Kais.
Okay, that's already pretty complex. Then the story took an even bigger leap with Dragon Ball Super, didn't it? Introducing the multiverse.
Indeed, a truly mind-bending leap. Dragon Ball Super introduced a total of 12 universes, and our familiar Universe 7, surprisingly, is ranked second to last in terms of its mortal level.
Second to last. Ouch.
Yeah, not great for bragging rights. And here's an intriguing little detail. 6 universes were actually erased by the supreme being Zeno, the Omni-King, long, long ago. Just poof.
Zeno.
Right.
The childlike god who can erase anything. Terrifying. Okay, so that sounds like a lot of cosmic moving parts. Who's actually in charge of keeping order or trying to, and how effective are they really?
That's a really good question. Nominally, you have the Galactic Patrol. They're meant to be the interstellar police force.
Like Jocko.
Exactly like Jocko. But they're consistently shown to be a small, often under-equipped force. They're easily outmatched by major galactic threats. And then you have the Frieza Force. Now, this isn't a traditional military at all. It operates more like a ruthless galactic real estate empire.
Real estate. Seriously.
Yeah. Frieza himself functions like a tyrant CEO, conquering planets, exterminating the populations, and then selling those worlds off to the highest bidder. Its hierarchy is brutal, a meritocracy based purely on raw power.
Wow. Okay, so we have these massive threats like Frieza, Inc., and the official cosmic protectors often seem, well, kind of ineffective.
Precisely. And this raises an important question, narratively speaking. Why are these designated cosmic protectors, the Galactic Patrol, or even the gods themselves so often absent or just plain outmatched? It leaves the universe vulnerable.
Which conveniently creates space for our heroes.
Exactly. This leads us directly to the divine hierarchy itself, which is elaborate, deeply bureaucratic even, clearly influenced by Buddhist and Hindu cosmology.
Can you walk us through the essential tiers of that hierarchy? Who are the key players and what are their jobs supposed to be?
Certainly. It starts locally with the planetary gods or kami-sama, like Earth's guardian, Kami, and later Dende. Above them is King Yema, the Enma-Diet, the judge of the dead we mentioned. Then come the Kais, or Kai. They oversee the universal quadrants north, south, east, west, like Goku's mentor, King Kai, is the North Kai.
Gotcha. King Kai.
Above them are the Supreme Kais, the Kaishin. They are the gods of creation. They foster life in planets. And here's a critical point. Each Supreme Kai has a lifelink with their universe's god of destruction. If one dies, so does the other. It's meant to maintain a cosmic balance.
A lifelink. Okay, that's important. Who's next?
Next up are the fearsome gods of destruction, the Hakaishin, like Beerus from Universe 7. Their role is, well, destruction, to destroy planets and civilizations to maintain equilibrium.
So, creation and destruction in balance.
Theoretically. These gods of destruction are always attended by vastly more powerful and supposedly neutral angels like Wiz, and the angels are actually children of the Grand Priest.
Angels are stronger than the gods of destruction. Well,
Oh yes, significantly. And at the absolute apex, you have the Omni-King, Zen, the supreme ruler of all 12 universes, capable of erasing entire realities with like childlike whimsy. He is feared by absolutely everyone, even the gods of destruction. His advisor is the Grand Priest, who is stated to be among the 5 strongest fighters in the entire multiverse.
okay, it's an incredibly elaborate system. It sounds impressive on paper. But what's the surprising truth about how this complex divine bureaucracy actually functions in the story?
The most surprising truth, and I think it's a key insight into Dragon Ball's narrative engine, is the pervasive, almost systemic incompetence of this divine order.
Incompetence.
Yeah. The Kais are often shown to be weaker than the threats they're supposed to manage. Supreme Kais are frequently unaware of major tyrants like Frieza operating for decades under their noses. Even Beerus, a god of destruction, famously slept for 39 years while Frieza's empire conquered and sold off planets unchecked.
He just took a nap while galactic genocide was happening.
Pretty much. This intentional flaw, this inherent weakness in the system, creates a fundamental power vacuum. It means the designated protectors are often incapable of fulfilling their duties, which, conveniently,
Provides the perfect narrative justification for mortal heroes like Goku and Vegeta to constantly break their limits, ascend to godlike powers, and ultimately fill that void. They have to step up because the gods aren't doing it.
Exactly. That neglect from on high truly sets the stage for our mortal heroes to step up and continually evolve.
So how do they actually manage to fight back against such massive, often negligent cosmic forces? It all comes down to energy and evolution, right? That's the core mechanic.
Precisely. At the core of almost everything is ki. That's the fundamental life force energy residing within every living being. Toriyama apparently defined it as a blend of 3 spiritual components: Genki for vigor, Yuki for courage, and Shuki for right-mindedness.
Vigor, courage, and right-mindedness. Interesting.
Yeah, so it makes ki intrinsically linked to a warrior's mental and emotional state. It's not just raw power. Users manipulate ki for physical enhancement, energy projection, blasts and beams flight, and sensing the energy of others. Remember the scouter, the little eyepiece?
Oh yeah, it's over 9,000.
The iconic line. Well, scouters became obsolete pretty quickly once fighters mastered precise ki control because they could hide their power levels, making simple readings meaningless.
Ah, okay. That's a crucial distinction. But ki isn't the only power system at play, is it? We also see magic used quite a bit in Dragon Ball.
That's right. Magic, or Majutsu, is distinct. While Keys is about cultivating one's internal life force, magic is often presented as a more selfish manipulation of natural forces. It frequently originates from the chaotic demon realm, and certain races, like the Namekians, have a natural aptitude for it.
So they're fundamentally different.
Yes, a Keys user can't power a magic spell, and vice versa. They draw from different wells, so to speak. We see it in action with Piccolo's clothes beam, which is clearly magic.
Instantly generating clothes, yeah.
Majin Buu's iconic candy beam, and crucially, the creation of the Dragon Balls themselves by Namekians like Kami and Guru. That's powerful magic.
Right, the Dragon Balls are magic, not ki. That makes sense. But I'd argue for most of us, the most iconic power system, the thing everyone knows, is undoubtedly the Super Saiyan lineage. Can you walk us through the major game-changing transformations, not just their multipliers, but what they represented for the story?
Absolutely, because each Super Saiyan form wasn't just a numerical boost, it was a dramatic visual and narrative escalation, a milestone. It starts way back with the primal great ape, Suru. That's a 10x base power boost tied to having a tail and seeing the Blutz waves from a full moon. Often leads to uncontrolled destruction.
Right, the giant monkey form.
Then came the legendary Super Saiyan SSJ, first achieved by Goku on Namek, born from pure extreme rage after Frieza killed Krillin. This just shattered previous power ceilings. It became the iconic symbol of Saiyan strength, that golden aura and hair.
The moment everything changed.
Yeah.
And it just kept escalating from there.
Indeed. Super Saiyan 2 SSJ2 amplified that intensity. You got the more intense aura, the visible bioelectric sparks. It was a symbol of truly mastered, unleashed power, famously unlocked by Gohan during the Cell games in that incredible moment.
Gohan finally snapping. Yeah.
And Super Saiyan 3, SSJ3, that was like the ultimate go big or go home transformation, pushing the Saiyan form to its absolute physical limits. You know, the incredibly long hair, no eyebrows. But it came with a huge energy cost, a massive drain.
Looked cool, but not very practical long term.
Exactly. We also saw unique berserker mutations like the legendary Super Saiyan in characters like Brawly and Kale, a different kind of power. Then the next major leap was into the divine realm with Super Saiyan God, SSG, that leaner, red-haired form achieved initially by a ritual granting access to Divine K.
A whole new type of energy.
Right. This then evolved into Super Saiyan Blue, SSGSS, basically combining Super Saiyan God with a regular Super Saiyan power-up. Striking blue hair requires perfect ki control. And just to cover the bases, for deities using Saiyan bodies, like Goku Black, there's Super Saiyan Rosé, the divine equivalent of blue, with its distinct pinkish-red hair.
So it really moved beyond just raw physical power increases to these incredible divine states of being. It became more conceptual.
Precisely. That leads us to things like Ultra Instinct, Migate no Gokui. This is a technique, or rather a state, primarily used by angels. It's described as a transcendent mental state where the body reacts entirely on its own, independent of conscious thought, allows for perfect movements, perfect dodging.
The ultimate defense.
Pretty much. For Goku, achieving it is about finding absolute tranquility in the heat of battle. It progresses from the defensive Ultra Instinct sign, the incomplete version, to the complete silver-haired, mastered Ultra Instinct.
Okay, that's Goku's path tranquility. But what about Vegeta? He's always been different. He's taken a very different path from Goku's quiet calm, hasn't he? What's his unique answer to that divine power?
He absolutely has, and it's fascinating. Ultra Ego, Wagama no Gokui, is Vegeta's unique divine state. It explicitly draws on the power of a god of destruction. Instead of calm, Ultra Ego thrives on battle. It allows him to grow stronger the more damage he sustains. He embraces his Saiyan pride, his battle lust.
So the more you hit him, the stronger he gets. That's very Vegeta.
Exactly. It truly represents a philosophical divergence from Goku's path. It showcases their fundamentally different approaches to power and fighting.
Love that contrast. Okay, before we move on from powers, let's quickly touch on a few signature techniques. The Kamehameha, Master Roshi's iconic move. It's legendary.
A true classic. The Turtle Destruction Wave. Its mechanics involve gathering ki between cupped hands and releasing a concentrated beam, though as fighters get better, advanced users can bypass the lengthy kata of the stance for much faster execution.
Right, Goku just fires them off instantly now.
Then there's the Spirit Bomb, Genki Dama, taught by King Kai. This one's truly unique because it gathers dinky life energy not just from the user, but from all surrounding life forms. Plants, animals, people.
Gathering energy from everyone.
Yeah. And crucially, the user must be pure of heart to wield it effectively, which makes it most devastating against beings of pure evil.
A technique only the good guys can really use properly. And finally, the ultimate T-work technique, fusion.
Ah, yes, fusion. There are two main methods we see. The fusion dance, which is a Metamoran technique. It requires two individuals of similar power level and size to perform this perfectly synchronized, slightly comical dance.
Fusion HA.
That's the one. The resulting fused warrior lasts for 30 minutes. The other method is using the Pokara earrings, which are divine artifacts belonging to the Supreme Kais. Originally, they created a permanent fusion, but this was retconned in Dragon Ball Super to last only 1 hour for mortals.
Ah, the retcon hammer strikes again.
Indeed. And there's often mention of a rival boost for certain pairs, like Goku and Vegeta, making their Potara fusion Vegito exceptionally powerful.
Okay, so we have key magic, transformations, divine states, signature moves, fusion. What's the overall impact of this soft and incredibly flexible power system on the storytelling itself? How does it serve the narrative?
Well, this soft power system with its, vague and flexible rules is actually a key narrative tool. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It allows for constant innovation. Toriyama could always introduce new concepts like godly ki or new transformations, and dramatic power-ups can be justified by emotional states, rage, desperation, tranquility, which keeps the story dynamic and means it can always surprise the audience. It never gets locked down by rigid rules.
It keeps things exciting, that's for sure. Speaking of those ever-evolving power systems, it's incredible how much they shape the core characters themselves, their journeys. Perhaps before we try and pin down what's canon, we should look at how these heroes embody the series' deeper themes through their power and struggles.
That's a great point, because with so much lore flying around, what truly resonates, what sticks with you, is how these characters navigate it all. The series constantly explores that theme of innate nature versus formative nurture through its key players. It's central. Take Son Goku, or Kakarot, his Saiyan name. He was literally born for destruction, sent to conquer Earth as a baby Saiyan warrior.
Right, his mission was evil.
Exactly. But a convenient head injury and being adopted and raised with love by Grandpa Gohan led him to become Earth's greatest protector. His identity is a powerful product of nurture, directly subverting his destructive birthright. And eventually, he builds his own family with Chi-Chi, Gohan, Goten, and later, Pan.
And his rival, Vegeta, is the perfect foil for that theme, isn't he? He comes from the opposite direction.
Absolutely. Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans. He was raised with immense pride, entitlement, and the sole purpose of conquest. His entire identity was based on his Saiyan heritage. His arc is this profound, often painful journey where his nature is slowly, grudgingly tempered by nurture on Earth. It happens through his fierce rivalry with Goku, his complex relationship with Bulma, and eventually his burgeoning, protective love for his children, Trunks and Bulla. It's a fantastic arc.
One of the best in manga, arguably. Then there's Piccolo, who completely defies his origins in a different way.
Exactly, Piccolo. He started as the son and direct reincarnation of the evil demon king Piccolo. His initial purpose was revenge and conquest. He began as Goku's arch-nemesis, but transformed over time into one of Earth's staunchest protectors, and notably Gohan's compassionate mentor and father figure.
The relationship is incredible.
It really is. His journey is also one of reunification, both literally through fusions with fellow Namekians like Nail and Kami, and metaphorically by finding his true place among the Z fighters. And just to round it out, you have Frieza, the ultimate antagonist. Son of King Cold, a mutant born with immense, terrifying power. His paranoia about the Super Saiyan legend led him to destroy planet Vegeta, which directly sets the main series in motion. He represents nature, that inherent evil, purely unchecked by nurture or redemption.
A powerful exploration of choice over destiny running through all these characters. Now let's talk history. The Dragon Ball timeline. I mean, it truly spans millions, maybe billions of years, right? From the creation of the Super Dragon Balls by Zalama, this dragon god, to the sealing of the old Kai and the Z-Sword by Beerus, and the ancient rampage of Majin Buu.
Absolutely. The history is vast. And within that, we mustn't forget the pivotal Saiyan era. Their history as a warrior race, their annexation into the Frieza Force, and Frieza's infamous betrayal and destruction of planet Vegeta.
This brings us back to a fascinating point you touched on earlier, the fluid nature of canon in Dragon Ball. Can you give us that key example again of how even established lore can shift?
Yeah, one of the best and most recent examples is the retcon of Bardock's story, Goku's father. His origin and personality were originally depicted in a 1990 TV special, Bardock, the Father of Goku, a classic for many fans. But then his story was significantly revised, softened even, by Toriyama himself for the Dragon Ball Super Broly film in 2018.
So the movie overwrote the TV special.
Essentially, yes. It demonstrates the Dragon Ball universe isn't a static text set in stone. Newer, creator-driven stories can actively overwrite or reinterpret previously established lore. It shows it as a truly living narrative.
Okay, so with all these different stories, retcons, and timelines, how do we chronologically place the main sagas? What constitutes the core age of Goku?
The Age of Goku, the main narrative focus, chronologically begins with the original Dragon Ball manga and anime, covering his childhood adventures, finding the Dragon Balls, training with Roshi, fighting King Piccolo. Then Dragon Ball Z details his adult life, the arrival of the Saiyans, the fight against Frieza, the androids, Cell, Majin Buu, the escalation to galactic and universal threats. Dragon Ball Super, both manga and anime, then fills the 10-year time skip that happens before the final chapter of the original manga, the end of Z.
The end of Z, right? Where Goku flies off to train Oob, Buu's reincarnation.
Exactly. Super explores the gods of destruction, the multiverse, Ultra Instinct, all within that previously skipped decade.
And just to make things even more complex, we have the mind-bending concept of divergent timelines, introduced mainly by Future Trunks time travel.
Indeed. Time travel throws a massive spanner in the works. We have Future Trunks' original desolate timeline where the androids killed everyone and destroyed the world. We also have Cell's original timeline where he killed Trunks and stole his time machine to come to the main timeline. It gets complicated fast.
Okay, so this raises the big question. What's actually considered canonical in this sprawling multi-timeline, multimedia franchise? How do you even define it?
It's definitely a tiered system, and there's often debate among fans, but generally it works like this. Primary canon is usually considered Akira Toriyama's original 42-volume manga. That's the foundational text. And now, the ongoing Dragon Ball Super manga, which Toriyama writes or outlines, is also generally included here.
Okay, the core manga. What's next?
Secondary canon, or maybe anime canon, refers to the main anime adaptations. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and the Dragon Ball Super anime series. They generally follow the manga's plot, but they include significant amounts of filler content, original story arcs, or episodes not in the manga. Think of the Garlic Jr. saga, or Goku and Piccolo learning to drive.
The driving episode, a classic.
Right, and the anime also makes story alterations sometimes. Like, the length of Goku and Frieza's fight on Namek is famously much longer in the anime. Or the exact trigger for Future Trunks' first Super Saiyan transformation differs between manga and anime.
Okay, so manga is primary, anime is secondary with additions. And what about all those movies? There are so many. Where do they fit in?
Most of the original 17 theatrical films, the ones released alongside Dragon Ball and Z, are considered tertiary or non-canon. They're usually fun side stories that don't really fit neatly into the main timeline. However, the modern films, starting with Battle of Gods, then Resurrection F, DBS Brawley, and most recently, DBS, Superhero, these are crucial exceptions.
Why are they different?
Because they were created with Toriyama's heavy involvement writing scripts, designing characters. They effectively form the very basis for the arcs in the Dragon Ball Super anime and manga, so they carry much more canonical weight. As for Dragon Ball GT.
GT, the controversial one.
Yeah. It was produced by Toei Animation, largely without Toriyama's direct creative story input, serving as an anime original sequel to Z. Due to Dragon Ball Super now covering the period after Z with Toriyama's involvement, GT is now largely considered a non-canon alternate timeline or what-if story by most.
Okay, that clarifies GT. And we also have guidebooks, don't we? Things like the Daizenshu, do they count as canon? Are they official sources?
That's another layer. Official guidebooks like the Daizenshu and the later Shosenshu are essentially encyclopedias. They compile information, power levels, timelines, character bios. They aren't narrative sources themselves. However, the information within them often gets referenced or adopted into canon through later stories or confirmed in creator interviews. So they have this sort of quasi-canonical status, useful references, but secondary to the stories themselves.
Be complex.
It is. This whole layered approach, combined with creator statements that sometimes support a kind of inclusive multiverse where even non-canon stories exist somewhere. It means the Dragon Ball universe is not a static text, but a living narrative. It's constantly expanding, being reinterpreted, sometimes even contradicting itself. It's truly a dynamic, breathing, fictional world.
What an incredible journey through the Dragon Ball universe, seriously. From its surprising origins in ancient Chinese mythology and kung fu cinema, to Toriyama's famously improvisational storytelling. From a unified, dog-ruled Earth, still love that, to a vast multiverse governed by surprisingly fallible gods.
We've really seen how that relentless need for power escalation fundamentally shaped its cosmic evolution, how the consistent failures, or maybe just the limitations of the divine hierarchy, basically necessitate mortal heroism. Goku and Vegeta have to save the day. And how those iconic transformations, they aren't just cool power-ups, they reflect profound philosophical journeys about innate nature versus formative nurture.
It really, really shows that even the most bombastic, action-packed stories, the ones that captured our imaginations as kids and still do, can have these unexpected layers of surprising depth and thoughtful construction underneath all the energy blasts. It's a testament to the power of creative adaptation and continuous evolution in storytelling.